Progress. Hello and welcome. This is Jane Miller, and we are on day 3 of our masterclass for when you don't know what you want. And we've been discovering how to figure out what you do want, spend a day on that. And we spent a lot of time thinking about what we do want and not what we don't. We also worked on what was stopping us and learning why we get stuck. And we found out it's all rooted in those paradigms that are embedded deeply in our subconscious mind. And we learned how to create new paradigms. We learned that paradigms are created in 2 ways. One is sudden impact, but the second is the one we can control: repetition. And then I went through the diagram on how to keep your thoughts top of mind and to keep the goal as if it's already here, because it is. All you have to do is accept the idea and then put it in your thoughts, give it some feeling, and those feelings, you'll create the correct action that give you the good results you need, and then recycle over and over. Quite simple, really. Repetition. So today, I want to talk about that mental magic activity that's going to just solve problems for you. It's going to catapult you in any personal or business situation, and it is decision. We work a lot on decision because it's so important. Look what Hunt says about it. Decide what you want. Decide what you are willing to exchange for it. Establish your priorities and go to work. Now, what did he mean by that? What you're willing to exchange for it? Well, remember, if the change we seek is only one decision away, do we need to worry, be fearful of the decision? No. If we've done the other steps correctly, figuring out what we really want, figuring out what's stopping us, creating those new paradigms, and keeping the correct thoughts in our mind, reaching for the goal, the decisions that you make will be just fine. And I'm going to get into that a lot deeper, but what did he mean about what you're willing to exchange for it? So there's only really 2 questions that we need to ask about the decision we're making. Am I able to do it? Really, you're able. If all we look to is religious and scientific facts on the matter, we are able to do most anything. We got to take that governor off, remember, so that we can sail into it. But are you able? So of course you're able. So don't even worry about that question at all. Now, this is the bigger question. Are you willing? And that's what Hunt was talking about. Decide what you're willing to exchange for the thing that you want. You know, here we are. You're already giving your whole life for whatever it is you're getting now. Think about it. Think about the equation. So are you willing to give your life for what you want? That might sound scary, but you're already doing it. So why not give and spend your life for the life you really want, for the betterment of your family, your friends, your community, your business, your workplace? God, are you willing? That is the real question. If you're not willing, the answer is no. That's up to you. If your answer is yes, I am so happy that you're here, because we're going to continue on together and get what you want. Not everyone wants to go down this path, and that's okay. It saddens me, but you have to be wanting to do the work and really wanting the thing that you're going after. So a little exercise for you is list what you're willing to do. Are you willing to move across the country for what you want? Are you willing to get up an hour or two early every day to do your studying? Are you willing to change your diet, create a new diet? Are you willing to follow the formula that we're going to put out here for you? Are you willing to do those things? And then list what you're willing to give. Are you willing to give the time? Are you willing to give the dollars that you'll need to for the resources that you need? Are you willing to give praise to others to improve those relationships? Are you willing to give yourself to others to share? Now, I want to read to you and read you so much, but share with you some really good information about decision. I think it's going to help you so much. And when you work with me, you'll be working right with Bob Proctor. He's my mentor and can be yours too. So let's start about decision, because, you'd think that anything as important as decision, that we would have been learning about this from little on up. But, it's not taught in school. It's not taught at work when we go for training sessions. And human resources, the only ones who probably get this are when you're on the, on the track, management track, and they might give you some 3-week training and there's a little piece about decision making, but it's usually factual. So how can we expect to develop this mental ability of decision making? Well, you just have to keep doing it. We can teach it to you. Just put it in your affirmations in the morning that we've been talking about, and learn that you have everything you need to make the decisions. And what's really cool is you can really eliminate confusion in your life, doubt and worry, by becoming a very good decision maker. When we talk about decision, psychiatrists say when there's a lack of decision, the mind gets into this war, right? And they call it ambivalence. And ambivalence is in one person, those opposite feelings towards the same objective. Stay or leave, do it, don't do it, risk it, don't risk it. So when we laid out all of our wants and we picked those and we started down the goal, if we're constantly in that state of ambivalence, how is the mind going to, impress that? And guess what feelings, if it's confusion and you're putting those feelings of confusion down into your subconscious, you're not going to take action because self-conscious is going, I'm confused. And we don't want that. So we know that indecision is a cause of that ambivalence. So let's get rid of that right now. Now, how do we make decisions? Well, we gather up the information that we need or think we want. We, again, focus back on what we want, the goal, what we're willing to give for it, and then decide right where you are with the information you have. Don't keep waiting. Don't keep doing what I did for years and years, decades ago. Kept planning, kept searching, kept reading everything else I could on subject matter. It's okay to do some research, but for me, it was just putting things off and staying in indecision. And then again, I had the confusion. My subconscious really didn't know what the heck was going on. Don't do that. Decide where you are with the information that you have. Let's go on. Oh, this is really great. and I think we covered it in day 2. Once you accept the idea of the goal already in your hand and in your life, you're already living it. Once you decide, there would be so many resources coming your way. Well, you decided to hop on this masterclass. Good for you. And those resources and my guidance came your way. But people will come into your life, ideas. Remember, we said you don't need to know how. You don't need to know how you're going to do something. And this is why, as soon as you make a decision on what you're going to do and that goal, the how will start to come. Ideas will start to come. People will come to mind that you should call. It's amazing. And it's so, so wonderful. So remember, what do you think about? Remember our process on thoughts? What are you thinking? You know that our thoughts then are going to control the decisions that we make. Don't go into indecision. Don't go into ambivalence, because that's what happens. The confusion is what you're impressing on your mind, your subconscious, and you're getting yourself all in a tizzy, and the tizzy isn't working. The tizzy is not going to put you into the correct action that you need. So remember, you are the total of your thoughts. So make sure that sum total of thoughts are the good ones and the ones that you want. So every minute you got to take charge of this. And remember, you only have to do something till you want to, and then you won't have to anymore. So don't worry about that. If you take charge of your thoughts, every minute of every day is going to be pretty good, because you'll still be in control, even if shiitake comes your way, right? You still get to think what you want to think about the situation and move forward. My mom was great at this. We had 7 in the family, plus dad and all the pets and all sorts of things. She was so good at, when things came our way that maybe were negative or were those sudden impacts, she would say, okay, so what? Now what? I can hear her saying, now what? She did not linger on that. She made decisions going forward. Thanks, Mom. So here's a stumbling block as well about decision. And I think it's one of the biggest ones is sometimes we put off making the important decisions because we say, oh, this is going on, that's going on, there's circumstances. While we should be giving our goal everything we've got, we let circumstance get in our way. And I think it probably shatters more dreams than anything else. You might have said to yourself, I'd like to do this, but well, I can't because ... Whatever follows the ... is the circumstance. And it may cause a detour in the life, but you should never permit circumstances to get in your way. Remember, now what? Here it is. Now what? What are we going to do about it? You might say, oh, I can't do that because the kids are still little. Oh, I can't do that because I'm still working full time. Oh, I can't do that because I don't have the money. Here's an interesting one. A story was told about a friend said they wanted to go to Paris. They really wanted to go to Paris. They'd been researching it. And the person said, well, why don't you go? I don't have the money. I don't have the time. And the person said, well, until you make the decision to go, the real decision to go, you don't need the money. You don't need the time. If you're just dreaming about it, you don't need money or time right now. When you decide you're going to do the thing, remember, the resources will come, or the means to the resources will come. And we have a beautiful chapter on that within our formula here. Okay, so back to circumstances. And here's a good one. Napoleon said, circumstances, ha, I make them. That's cool. Make your own circumstances. So the next time that you hear of someone kind of moaning that they wish they could do something, remind them until their decision is made, they don't need the resources. And once they make the decision, they will find the resources they need to do it. Now, some of us, might try something once or twice, and if it doesn't work, we give up. It's part of our on-demand world, right? We want things now. You don't even have to go through the grocery store. You can just, and the groceries magically come out to the parking lot, or even the pea pod shows up to your door. We're on the website. If we have a question, no longer do we go to the World Book Encyclopedia on the shelf and painstakingly look it up. We just talk into our phone and say, Siri, how far is it to Mexico? We want things quickly, but don't give up. Don't stop. So if you feel like you're trying something just once or twice, don't give up. Look how many times, I know you've heard this, 10,000 times it took Thomas Edison to create that wonderful light bulb. And thank goodness he did. Decision making. The other decision I want you to make is to decide not to participate in why something can't be done. So the only thing that's ever going to get you is nothing, right? I love that. But I see it all the time. I see, otherwise intelligent people, and they'll drag other people into the negative. And remember what we talked about with the thoughts and the antennae up here, all your senses. You get to choose whether to participate. You get to choose whether to let those thoughts in your mind or not. So keep that going. Your life is so important, and the way you share it with others are important to me and everyone else. It's important to God. It's short, right? But you have the potential to do most anything you choose. It's really true. It's really true. But to do it, you got to make the decision to do it. All this we've been talking about in the last 3 days, your wants, your goals, the creating new paradigms. You could work on this for years and keep working, keep writing, but until you make the decision in your heart, then you'll see the resources. And again, don't worry if it's not coming as quickly as you want. The big man upstairs has a plan too, right? Just keep going forward. Keep going forward. And you don't know what's working under the behind the curtain, right? When you plant seeds, you can't see what's going on in the ground, but you have the faith and the understanding that it will grow. Same thing with decisions, and when you make these simple decisions, the greatest minds of the past are available to you. Your wildest dreams will come to be. I'm pretty excited about the decision, and I'm pretty serious about it as well, because I know what it can do for you. So here's some decisions then you're going to need to make. Have you started down this path? Have you made that list of 100 once? Have you picked out a couple to work on as a goal? Have you figured out what's stopping you? Have you looked at your non-productive habits and turned them into productive habits by using that law of polarity? Have you written out that life script of how you're already living in your goal? Have you done these things? Have you made the decision to continue every day and think about them? So have you made the decision to keep going on past this day 3, right? I hope you have, because we can help you. We're here to help you. I want to remind you that we have the formula. Here we go. We have the formula. It's not secret. It's all in our program. But what I find is many personal development, professional development, even over my years in corporate training, we did a lot of goal setting. We did a lot of teamwork. We missed this whole part. I was never taught this very, very expensive program, sometimes months long. I was never taught how to think and how to keep my mind where it needed to be. I was never taught that my goal is already here. I was never taught that it's only one decision away. If I had learned this formula earlier and all the other magic that's in it, I would be so much further ahead. And I could have started this work so much earlier in my career. So here's the key though. So we have the formula. We have the formula, and it's a year-long program. It is fabulous. You will just love it. And it works like magic, but it only works like magic if you follow it exactly. And what I found is what I needed was a guide on the side and a like-minded group to help me along. And that made all the difference. And it can for you too. So what I'd like you to think about is, do you want this? Yes, you're here on day 3. So obviously you want something, and you're really, I think, in your heart, looking for the way to do it. This is it. Thinking into results. We've been talking about that for 3 days. I love this program. We use it for individuals and we use it with companies because it's the information for the individual works for a team who's getting to a goal. Back in the corporate world, it would always be, they had the mission and the vision and the goals, and then they'd start pushing them down to the people until they got to the people. Willingness was lost, decisions were lost, and the people weren't sure how to institute the goals. And it's no different. The company goals you do from your thoughts as well, and you help each other. And that's why I like to conduct this program in a group. If it's a group of like-minded people who are all on that same frequency, we help each other realize our goals in the physical form. So your homework is, again, I wanted you to work on what you're willing to do and what you're willing to give. And then also, very important, schedule a time to chat with us, okay? It's real easy. You can use this Calendly link and you'll be able there to schedule 15 minutes with us, 30 minutes if you think you'll need that. We're happy to do that. You may send us a text or a call at this phone number. You may go to our website. There's a contact sheet there as well. But know this, I want you to schedule it, and then I want you to show up. Be nervous. We just want to talk to you about what you want and show you how you can get it. This happens a lot because you get excited and you're feeling good, and then that old paradigm comes in. What's this going to cost? How much time is it going to be? It's priceless, man. It's so great. What will others think? Don't tell anyone else unless you have a friend you want to bring along. So there's no worries at all. That when you schedule the time or call or text us, show up and show up with your full self, because that's why we're here. We're here to help each other. And as we go along, I want to remind you to close that knowing doing gap with your new habits so that you can do what you already know how to do, right? Work on yourself. Personal development is number one. You will always get a return on your investment there. Let me give you one lasting work on yourself, because you can never perform your self-image. What does that mean? We're going to go into that a lot. We have a whole chapter and 2 weeks on self-image and how that can catapult us to where we want to be, or how it can hold us back. So make this decision. Make the decision for yourself, because I want you to become the person who God wants you to be. I love this quote. It's my probably number one favorite quote from Saint Catherine of Siena. She was in Italy and spent her whole life helping others to be who they could be. She said, "Be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire." She actually said you'll set Italy on fire, but we expanded it. So be who God meant you to be. My woe in this life is when I get to my eternal life and I'm standing with God, he shows me the person that I could have been. That hurts me. I do not want that to happen. So I'm spending my decision and I'm giving my will to be who God means me to be every day, every day. So this is Jane Miller. I'm so happy and grateful that you spent this time with us. And remember, from Corinthians, God sends others to guide us on your path. I hope that I can become your guide as well. All right, we're going to take some questions and answers from this point. Thank you.